Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tubi Tuesday here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with.
Anna Xaden.
All right, and we are here for our mid-season finale of Tubi Tuesday, and we're going to be talking about He Knows.
Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
I know, sweetie. Are you excited?
Ew. Who is that?
It's someone I'm still working on. Sammy is a little bit scary. He's this elf that punishes naughty boys and girls.
Will you tell me about Sammy?
I really don't want you to have bad dreams.
I won't have bad dreams. I promise.
Okay. This is the story of Sammy the elf. Now, while Santa goes out and delivers presents to all the good girls and boys, Sammy, he goes out and punishes the naughty ones. But not every boy and girl are nice. In fact, some of them are very naughty.
Eddie Mullins and C.C. Phillips are dead, murdered. We found a list with just their names on it. Their names were crossed out. There's a lot of blood.
Remember from when I was a kid?
Yeah. You don't think that he...
Sammy the elf.
You know about Sammy?
Well, ladies, here we are. Home sweet home.
Is this a joke?
You're the only one allowed to have arm candy?
Maybe she was playing hide and seek.
Hey, Bob.
Anything?
No. Keys. What's my keys? You know what?
The fuck?
So he knows, like I
He
actually
knows
was.
all.
What?
He knows all.
He did. Well, and we find out why. And so there will
Yeah.
be spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, go watch it on Tubi and
Yes.
come back and listen to this or watch this review if you want to know pretty much the movie of what happens and stuff and spoilers. That was your spoiler warning. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about so He Knows is basically about Sammy the elf, who's pictured right there, was this, I guess, they had a whole backstory on it, and I couldn't tell, did she make up the backstory or something, or how did she know?
I'm not sure exactly. They didn't touch down on that part.
Because I should have asked these questions to Steve Morris, the director, because he did
Yeah.
say if I had any questions, please ask.
Ooh.
So maybe he can answer in the thing. But I kind of took it as she sort of made up like the reasoning that he
Yeah.
was like because she was 10,
Mhm.
her character, Christina, I think it was her name. Yeah, Christina.
Uh-huh.
Christina was 10. And her and her brother Johnny were, just having a little fight right before on Christmas Eve because they were poor, I guess. They didn't have a lot of
Mhm.
money and all the food was gone and all he wanted was soup. And
Hmm.
she just had the soup. And instead of sharing the soup in somewhere or whatever, they get into this huge fight and each of them don't have the soup anymore. And he's kind of being a little brat to his sister. And
Yeah.
the father comes in and is complete jerk to everybody, and then when they're all like going to bed or whatnot, Sammy the elf comes into their house and attacks the dad and kills the dad, and the stepbrother disappears. Nobody knows where he went and everything. So but you see him and the other guy, so it's not him as he's not Sammy the Elf, right?
Yeah.
I always thought, I thought, okay, this is what I thought was going to happen. It did not. It was not the way that I thought. I thought Christina was the killer. She
Oh.
killed her father. She
Mhm.
had kind of made up this fake elf. She had killed the brother in some way or whatever, and all this stuff. And then she just sort of put that all out of her memory, and
Mhm.
kind of thought, but then she was still going off and killing all these people because you would not expect it. But then there were
Yeah.
some scenes where I was like, that it can't happen unless she's working with somebody else, like Scream style,
Yeah.
because like you see her go into one house and then the Sammy the elf is somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's like you can't be in two places at once like that. Like that just doesn't
Mhm.
happen. So I was like, all right, well, it's not her. So I was kind of bummed about that because I was like thinking, oh man, this would be a really cool, like fucking schizophrenic kind of like, psychological terror thing.
Oh
But
yeah.
you find out mm, my biggest grief with the whole film, and this isn't a bad thing, like unnecessarily, but my biggest problem with the film is that the storyline itself includes a lot of characters,
Mhm.
and you don't really get enough time on screen with many of them to kind of get who they are. And a
Yeah.
lot of times that's okay for that stuff. But when you're gonna introduce a killer that
Mhm.
I've never knew, like we could never have known who that guy was or guessed that was,
Yeah.
who Sammy the Elf was. Um,
Mm.
Honestly, I would have been more happy because I know it was a mask, so they have to go, well, it's a mask, so it's got to be somebody behind the mask.
Yeah.
I would have rather them found out some way to have a face that looked like an elf, make them look like an evil elf, like makeup or something,
Yeah.
and make it really be a guy named Sammy the Elf who's going around killing people. Because when it becomes a guy in a mask, it just, like it kind of, then they're human, like
Yeah.
it's not as much fun as like a supernatural killer who can be anywhere at any time. I
Yeah.
mean, there was obviously a human when he's waiting outside and he's trying to press all the buttons of that thing and the dog
Yeah.
walker walks by and does it
Yep.
for, helps him. That guy's on the nice list, I guess, because Sammy didn't kill him.
But what did he give the dog?
What? I don't know. I think it was human
See,
like parts.
I was wondering that too. I mean, all I saw was it was like red strips.
It
That's
looked
what
like
they're thinking. Not
I
the
thought it looked like
dog.
little fingers or something.
Oh man. Yeah, I was watching that and I was like, not the dog. Don't kill the dog.
I know. If you killed the dog,
Yeah.
that would have pissed me off. But the
Oh
dog, I
yeah.
mean, walked off fine. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess it's up to your imagination if it got poisoned or if it was
Oh man.
alive. I'm gonna guess alive. We're gonna go with alive.
Yeah.
Let's
He's
keep it like
alive.
that.
He's
We're
good.
animal lovers. Let's say it's like that Schrodinger's cat thing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
If you don't if you don't know that it's there or dead or alive, it's alive in your head. It's alive in your head. But if
Yeah.
once somebody tells you it's, that dog's dead, that dog died from that stuff, then it's over. You
Yep,
know.
exactly.
Then
I
you
actually thought it was Lynn that was
Oh,
going.
you thought I
Yeah.
I had a thought about that too. I actually
See, I
did
was like,
too
I
for a second.
bet you.
Because there was a point where, she kept asking, how did he know? How did he know Daddy was like this? How did he know all of this
Yeah.
stuff? And I mean, the answer became that Johnny was helping the guy out. So Johnny was
Yeah.
telling the guy all this stuff or whatever. And but I don't know. It was a little bit confusing. So I'm guessing there are helpers that help Sammy the Elf on, and those are who, that's who he was. And I feel like they were trying to train the girl,
Yeah.
Stephanie, I think it was her name, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to train Stephanie to become the next, elf,
Yeah.
with Sammy
That's
the
what it looked
Elf.
like.
But she was too good of a person,
Yeah.
which begs me to wonder, like, shouldn't all these people be on the naughty list that they get to help because those people are doing naughty things. Like killing somebody, even if you think it's right, is naughty, is not
Yeah.
allowed, it's not a good thing. So
Yeah.
like you are technically should be on Sammy's naughty list if you kill people,
Exactly.
and but if you're
But I
helping
guess since they're
them,
helping him, he's like, "Oh, they're good. They're helping me. So let's go kill."
I mean, but yeah, so I
But
don't
on
know.
Santa's list, they would have been bad.
But if it were Lynn, it would have been cool. It would have been a cool like twist because she was all of a sudden absent for a lot of the time. She wasn't there when all of that stuff happened. I mean,
Yeah.
there was so many reasons it could have been Lynn at that particular time. And but I don't know why they decided not to go that route when Steve was writing it, or if he didn't even think about that, like and when
Yeah.
he was doing it himself. I mean, I'm sure if we're thinking about it, he must have at one point said it could have been Len, you know.
Yeah. I think so.
You know what? I think it could have been Jessa, Jessa Flux. At
Oh,
one point because
he did such a great
why
job.
not? It would have been a crazy twist had it been like her, because she like they would have been like, why? I'm like, well, because Sammy asked me to,
Yeah.
and then that's how, and then you wouldn't even need Sammy to be standing out there getting the thing. He'd already be on the property, you know.
Yeah. I
Could have
could
been.
see her be it. I would have loved her to be the killer. That would have
But
been
it
awesome.
was some random guy in a way. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't random at the end because they explained who he was, but like what he wasn't there, like he wasn't a big part of their lives. He wasn't the
No.
father. I love the father guy. Like the guy who played the father, I thought at first he was such a dick, and I was like, oh God, this is gonna be one of the guys I root to die. And then he grew
Oh,
on me. And like throughout the whole thing, I'm like thinking he's a good dude. He's just kind of a jerk, but like, that happens. Like he's not like, he's not an asshole. He's not throwing his daughter and saying, take her, not me, like he's not,
yeah.
somebody who deserved to die or anything, which he didn't. Thank God.
True.
Um,
I was actually shocked at how many people did live.
but also how many people did die? A
Yeah,
lot of
true.
people died more than I thought they would. Like,
Yeah, it did start off with a lot of deaths.
I know, like the first like 40 minutes has like a lot of
Yes.
them,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that one house like had like murder, murder,
I
murder.
know. Oh,
Julianne Prescott
yeah.
getting killed. Oh man,
Yeah.
the needles. Oof.
Oh my gosh. I saw that and I just cringed. It's like,
I
not
know,
the needles.
that's pretty gross.
I
Um,
have this issue with syringes. I
I
just don't like them.
wow, and then you're a freaking
Oh, different
tattoo
needles.
artist.
Different type of needles.
All right, all
Like
right,
I don't mind getting pierced, but you tell me I've got to take a shot, and I'll
that's
tell the
true.
person, let's wait a few minutes. Let me prepare myself.
But yeah, so yeah, that and the girl, what is it? Or the drug dealer dude. I mean, everybody,
Yeah.
and then just some random people come to the house. I'm
Yeah, just walk on
like
up in.
walk right in, like,
Yeah.
The
Lay
one
down on
girl's
the
like, "Do you even
couch.
know these people?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, we just come over here." And then they see the elf guy, and like, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's just Eddie being Eddie." And I'm like,
Okay.
that one girl had it right though. She was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that's just
She
Eddie
was
being
smart.
Eddie," you know. And then the one girl asked for toilet paper or
Oh my
whatever.
goodness.
That shit was
Yeah.
hilarious.
When
But
he
he's like,
stuck it down at the door, I'm like, oh, don't
you're
get
like, no,
it.
don't grab that toilet paper. No, stay away from there. You know. But
Didn't the girl on the couch actually mention something about having a bat when he pulled the bat out?
something, yeah,
Yeah, I thought she, and then he whacked her in the head. She had blood like right here.
that was pretty
But
gruesome.
I know, yeah.
Pretty
And
good
like
effects.
as you said, Julianne Prescott with the needle thing in her
And
neck
then
and how
everything
it's,
squirting out.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
ah,
yeah, it's pretty gross.
like nope. But they did
I,
great.
I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then
Yeah.
to go back to Like, so because I was looking at this, I was looking on the IMDb and I was like, where is everybody? Like, where's Jessa? What, like, because she's listed at the top, because they go by IMDb star meter, I guess, and
Uh-huh.
stuff. So she's got a bigger star meter and she's got a smaller part in it, but it's a good part,
Yeah.
and she plays one of the two girls that just comes to this house. And typically horror films, they start with the people going to the house. They don't do that in the middle of the movie. But this was
Yeah.
an interesting take on that. I was like, that's kind of cool. Like, so they go to this house, and the other guy, this brother of the girlfriend of the father. Geez, that really went too much to explain. But he brings one girl, and his friend brings another girl, and they don't even care which girl they get, they said,
Yeah.
it's like doesn't matter. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, um, and Jessica's got a little pink hair and stuff. Did you notice continuity error in the movie?
Notice what?
A continuity error with her hair?
Yes, it changed style as well as color.
Yes.
Yes,
So
the
that
first
was
was like the
because
little braids, they were pink. And then the next time they showed her a little bit later, it was like blonde, but it was twists instead of braids.
mhm.
Yep.
So what I got from Jessa Flux, she explained to me, and I explained a little bit to you, but I'll tell it to everybody here, is that and she explained that because that was a lot of fun for her. She enjoyed that. She enjoyed working on the film, and she said they were shot in like I think the winter, originally, and then I had to finish in the spring. And by that time, some stuff happened with her hair, and she had to basically get her, cut off her hair, so she had to put on a wig.
Oh.
And the wig, they couldn't find, I guess, a pink wig, or anything that completely matched what she had with her real hair, that she had. So there's a scene in the movie where my favorite scene in the whole movie, honestly. I laughed my freaking ass off at this, and because I didn't see it coming either, is the killer goes to grab her and then rips off her hair, and when he does that, he goes, "Blah." Like his expression, like was so awesome. I was
That
just
was
like,
pretty awesome.
I was like
When it
that.
happened, I was like, "Oh damn, he just pulled the wig off."
He just pulled the freaking wig off her, you know,
Yes.
and that was all Steve. Steve Morris suggested that because I think he thought that would be hilarious. She's gonna rip your wig off, and she was like, "Go for it, it's comedy gold." And it was
It
funny.
was great. That
Uh,
totally added to it.
Yeah, and then she gets
Like I
shot by
was
the
I was
cop.
looking at that wig too, and I was like, "Is that a wig, or did she just change her hair?" And when it pulled off, I'm like,
Nope,
"Oh,
wig. So it's not just that, he pulled off the wig, but he also wigged out when he saw it. So it was funny. I thought that was the one of the greatest scenes, like in
oh
the
yeah,
movie. I did not see that coming. But now that I heard her story, I'm like, okay, that totally makes sense for it. And then she gets shot by the cop, the sheriff,
yeah,
because the sheriff just sees something running at him, and I'm like, oh my God,
yeah."
like, don't
Well,
just
I think
shoot.
I heard gunshots before he shot her too.
Okay,
Yeah, I heard a pow pow, and then he pulls out his gun and pow pow again, and that's when he hit her.
yeah,
And then the dude on the ground's just like, "He killed the white chick. I'm out of here."
yeah. He starts crawling, and I thought something was gonna
Yes.
happen to him, but
He was,
nothing,
I know. I was like, "Oh
nothing
goodness."
happened to him as far as I know. Like,
I don't. I think he lived.
yeah, I think he lived. Maybe. I mean, he was shot, or whatever,
Yeah.
which is so random in a way because like I guess that killer was just like I can't beat him physically, like there's no, so I'm just gonna shoot him, you know.
Yeah.
And it's also a surprise, because nobody was expecting. It's like that scene in Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark where
Uh-huh.
like where this guy's like doing all these tricks and all this stuff with these knives or whatever, and what was it Harrison Ford just pulls out his gun and shoots him. you know, like, like, whoops, you're done. And that was
Yeah.
sort of like that. Like, the guy's coming at him, like saying all these things, and then bam, bam. Um, so yeah. Uh, I mean, all in all, it was a fun movie. Lynn Lowry did a great job. I
Oh
loved her.
yeah.
I always love her. Like everything she does, she gives
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Um, I absolutely adored the whole cast, everybody.
Yeah.
I love that one girl. I was so sad when she and her I guess boyfriend, but like remember they say I love you over the phone
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And then later he said I love you, but she never said I love you back. Made me wonder about that. Like,
Huh. Yeah.
did she really love her and she just was in a relationship with him or something? I don't know. Like,
Hmm.
and stuff. But I mean, she also had a lot of shit going on in her mind. But I mean, generally speaking, when somebody says "I love you," you usually say "I love you" back if you really,
Yeah,
love them. So,
exactly. Yep.
um, so anyway, so yeah, so that, everybody was top notch. I think this is a great Christmas movie. Like, I could see
Yeah.
myself watching this every Christmas.
I
You
could
know?
too. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like completely fun to watch the whole thing.
right. I mean, the only problem I have with a lot of these movies, and I do this with Scream too, but like whenever I watch Scream, I know the ending, I know who the killer is. I mean, it's not generally as, much fun the next time you watch it
Yeah.
because you already know. But sometimes it can be because like, especially with Scream, and you have two killers, you kind of try to look at where the two killers could be, like which one is
Yeah.
doing which when, and everything. And I think they have a
Yep.
whole site on that kind of thing. In this one, there's I think there's only one killer. There's one killer, but
One
there's
killer, but he
two,
gets helpers.
right? But there's two at the end. End. Did you watch all the way to the like end of the movie when after the credits?
No, I didn't see that there
Jesus,
was anything past that.
you
Oh
gotta,
no.
especially when you see like there's like 7 minutes left. You got to like look down and go,
Yeah.
because there was
I'll go
one
back and
final
watch
scene.
that.
And I thought that's where I was going to see Sean C. Phillips. No, we saw Sean C. Phillips as a cop, and I just did not recognize him. Neither did
Yeah.
you, apparently.
No.
No. You did a great job. He was actually one of the funnier parts because it was a humor scene where he was telling the cop that, maybe this was done by a drug deal gone bad. He was like, "Oh, you saved the whole case."
Yeah.
Like whatever, right? I was like, "Why don't you go talk to the press outside?" And he was like, "What press? Me? I get to
Like
go
I
talk to the
forgot to talk.
press."
Yeah.
Oh man, I loved it. I thought he was great, but I did not recognize him at all,
I
and I
neither
don't
at
know
all.
why not. I don't. After seeing it again, I was like, "Oh my God, I do recognize him." I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I liked that, and then I liked, yeah. So the movie was great. It was a lot of fun, and I think if people are looking for something where there's, a psycho serial killer on the loose kind of thing, or whatever slasher, a holiday slasher, like a lot of people were talking about Thanksgiving recently and whatnot.
Ah,
I kind of really, really want to see it. I just haven't yet.
yeah.
I would, yeah, I would love to see some stuff like that. Like I'd love to,
Yeah.
but fortunately, haven't gotten a chance to. But I did get
Mhm.
to see this, so I'm glad I did right before the
Yeah.
holidays.
This was
This
great.
is perfect time. And so this is gonna be, I mean, will be out before Christmas. So if you're still in the festive spirit, go check it out. We definitely
Yes,
recommend it.
definitely do. Yes.
And we have an announcement. So we are going to be back in March, but we're going to be taking a little bit of a break. I'm going to be going off to California to visit friend for my birthday kind of week, thing. Some also a vacation because feel like I need one. I'm still going to be doing podcasts and other stuff out there, but just, I just want to get away from Virginia for a little bit and come out there. And so I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, but from like some horror film lover stuff. We'll still have some videos coming up, but Tubi Tuesday will be back in what is it? Well, it'll be back in March. So
Cool.
brand new, kind of still same season because it's a mid-season, episode, but it'll be back. So, but
Yes.
until then, everybody, thank you all, and thank you, Anna, and
Thank you.
thank you all for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Let's do it.
Hey, everybody, and oh God, sorry, something just jumped on my screen. Okay, take 2.